Open Meetings Handbook, Office of the Attorney General, 2024. Page 45, the very first sentence reads, blah, blah, blah. In setting such rules, a governmental body may not unfairly discriminate among speakers for or against a particular point of view. So the way a normal person reads that or understands that means you can't discriminate among speakers because that's what the words say. But what the government hears or what the Corpus Christi City Council hears is, oh, then I can discriminate against speakers for anything else. Okay. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Y'all are stupid. And that's not criticism. That's an actual fact. Like, they are actually stupid. Like, for example, they don't understand English language. Like, they are stupid and ignorant of their own language. Okay, so if there was a document that governed your day-to-day, or you're at your job, right? And let's say there was a document that you have to follow that said, you are not allowed to prohibit chocolate cake, right? And then you go and write something that says, hey, anybody that's in this working with me is prohibited from chocolate cake, right? Even though it says you can't prohibit chocolate cake, you go then and prohibit chocolate cake. Is that not the definition of stupid? Okay, good, because it is stupid, very stupid, just like the council is, right? Because there's a document that says you may not prohibit the freedom of speech or the free exercise thereof. See, look, check it out. Congress shall make no law prohibiting the freedom of speech, right? Make no law prohibiting the freedom of speech. But they made a law that
speaking on any non-city related matter is prohibited.
So once again, the First Amendment, the first article of the United States Constitution says you shall not make a law prohibiting speech. Corpus Christi City Council says
speaking on any non-city related matter is prohibited.
More time, real quick. No law prohibiting speech.
Speaking is prohibited.
Cut out the other words, but literally their law says speaking is prohibited, and the First Amendment says you can't make laws that prohibit speech. Now, some of you dumbasses are thinking, well, it's not a law. What? Well, they arrested people for it and took them to jail for it. If they're enforcing it, then it is a law. Now, you are right, because they cannot enforce policy, right? Because policy is not law, which is why this council is so stupid, and they are retarding themselves by doing this. So what is the difference between law and policy? Well, the main difference is the law is legally binding rule with government-backed penalties for violations, while policy is guideline or course of action for an organization or governmental entity to achieve its goals, which may not legally be enforceable outside of the organization. Laws are created by legislative bodies and enforced by the judicial system, whereas policies can be created by companies, government departments, or other institutions and often rely on voluntary compliance or internal sanctions. Weird. I would just like to draw your attention to what this says, that a policy is a guideline or course of action for an organization or government entity to achieve its goals. Now, if mayor always says, oh, we've had this policy in place for 30 years, and it's true, they probably have, because their goals have probably been to have people who speak that they don't like end up in jail, because that's where this policy is going to have people ending up if they keep on trying to enforce it as a law. But it's not a law. It is policy. You cannot enforce policy on the people. All right? Period. Poopy pants. Peter Piper Pizza picked a pack of pickled peppers, poopy pants. No, I realize the council is retarded and stupid, but I mean, they only seems like they retain information when it's in a PowerPoint presentation. So here's like a little thing that kind of looks like a PowerPoint. I don't know. Maybe this might help them, a visual aid or something, or have somebody do some, read it to them in Braille or something.
Loud, boisterous, profane, or obscene language or behavior is not allowed. Citizens must refrain from any disturbing noise, demonstration, or other act disrupting to the city council business.
All right, so we'll ask each person to state your name and the city with which you live before beginning your comments. Citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes, while non-resident comments are limited to 1 minute.
Didn't we just read something that says you can't discriminate against among the speakers? It kind of seems like giving one speaker 3 minutes and another one 1 minute is kind of discriminating, right? It just seems that way to me. Now, let's look at some other stuff that's in their policy before we watch the rest of this meeting, because there's some important things in there, right? So, to conduct the business of the city and to properly discharge its duties, the city council must hear, in many instances, a variety of differing viewpoints. To obtain all relevant information from the differing viewpoints, the rules of decorum are necessary. Thus, the city council adopts the following to assist in orderly deliberation in the matters affecting the city and its citizens. Okay, let's see. I already read that. Keep going. Oh, look at this. No wearing of hats, caps, or headgear that potentially impair the view of the audience members. That's just weird. I don't know. Let's just remember these, right? These might become relevant later. And let's see the most relevant one. These rules are not meant to restrain a citizen's First Amendment rights. This is literally in their policy. You just saw it. This is their policy, right? But they have something that says, that they read to us that says,
Speaking on any non-city related matter is prohibited.
questions of staff are inappropriate. Or questions of council or staff are inappropriate. Okay. All right, the whole thing reads, citizens are encouraged to present their views to the city council on related matters. However, such should be done in a factual, precise presentation. Questions of council or staff are inappropriate. No, they're not. Again, let's refer to the Texas Open Meetings Act, which is where we need to go to find out if they're lying to us or not. And what do you know? They're lying to us again. First, let's read this part. A governmental body may not prohibit public criticism of the governmental body, including criticism of any act, omission, policy, procedure, program, or service, except criticism otherwise prohibited by law. Duh. Further, a governmental body making a rule limiting the amount of time for a member to address the governmental body that does not use simultaneous translation equipment must be given the person twice as much time to address the government body through a translator. Okay, that makes sense. Now, carrying on. But remember, it said you may not prohibit the public from criticism of any act, omission, policy, procedure, program, or service, and that questions of council or staff are inappropriate. Okay, let's see. Right here on A, if at a meeting of a governmental body, a member of the public or the governmental body inquires about a subject. If a member of the public inquires about a subject, that is asking a question. It cannot be inappropriate to ask a question if the Texas Open Meetings Act says that you can inquire about something. That is a question, right? So again, they are horribly fucking up everything. Everything they said to us is a lie about all the rules so far.
A visible timer will be positioned near the city secretary's desk to help you manage your allotted time. Residents of Corpus Christi will be given priority in speaking over non-residents. If you have a petition or relevant information, please present it to the city secretary before speaking. It is important to note that I was your mayor pro tem until yesterday. Mr. Barrera is your current mayor pro tem, and we turn it over to him.
Thank you, Councilmember Scott. All right, Mr. William Almaguer. Mr. William Almaguer.
They just recently changed the format of these, so the public comments at the end, and now I see why. It's so they can all leave, right? They don't even have a quorum right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe not even 5 people. That's 4 people. They don't even have a quorum right now. But I mean, they've already, voted on whatever. But anyways, the point is, how we know that these people know what they're doing or should know what they're doing is that it's part of their hiring process. It's right here. They literally have to go through a training and an ethics thing right here. Look right here. It says they have to take an oath of office, receive a copy, and agree and comply with the city's ethics code and agree to complete the training required, right? So they're trained, take an oath, and they're given an ethics code. And yet they still disrespect, break all their own rules, refer to each other by first name, and break all their own rules, dude. And they shouldn't be doing that. And I just want to bring up this one because what they're doing is they're being disrespectful and being rude to the citizens and literally making laws that they cannot enforce and then trying to enforce them. And then whenever they say that they're being disruptive, they're saying that they're being disorderly and committing disorderly conduct. So that's why they can be trespassed. But literally, that rule is nowhere. But in their own policy, it says rules of the council. That means for the council. The city council shall determine its own rules of procedure, may punish its members for disorderly conduct and may compel the attendance of its members and may impeach a member if their name herein is provided. Literally, they can punish their own people for disorderly conduct, but not us, not the people. These people are nuts, dude. They're taking everything that applies to them and saying that it applies to us in our free country, in our free time off of our jobs to be there in front of them, conducting business they should be able to take care of, but they can't. Just a quick recap of things that have happened in the leading up to today.
Hello, I'm none of the above. My name is Heather. I've been here before. Everyone needs to have their mask on. If you love your community, put your mask on. You're the city manager. You should have had masks for everybody. There is COVID-19 going. There is
boisterous and shouting and loud.
COVID-19 going around right now. You do not care about the city.
She's not on the
and
list,
telling us to
Mayor.
Stop talking.
No, I know, ma'am.
Don't tell me to shush. Everyone needs to have their masks on, and everyone that does not have their mask on, fail already. I'll leave on my own accord. I will leave on my own accord. You don't fucking put your hands on me. These bastards are putting their hands on. Alejandro, please help me. Please help me. I'm a veteran. God, help me. Jesus Christ, help me. Jesus, fucking take my flag. Give it to Alejandro. Give it to him. Alejandro, get the fucking flag right now.
Behind your back.
Capture
You're
the
fine.
flag. Capture the fucking flag. Capture the flag. Lay it back. Lay it back. Indigenous sovereignty. Black sovereignty now. He's hurting my rib. Ah! I'm peeing myself. I'm peeing myself.
Our council centering, Isabel Araiza, District 2. Our council centering industry before they center people. You are nickeling and diming working class people, and maybe it's just a couple of bucks, but you know that the minimum wage has not increased since 2009. Since 2009. And maybe the reason why there's only 6 people asking for a voucher is because they can't make it to the workforce to fill out the application, to be denied by them, to then ask for your money for the Parks and Recreation program. And it's not duplicating services when we have a Parks and Recreation program. We should be providing those services to our community at an affordable price. And if it's not affordable, use the Crime Control and Prevention District money, because guess what?
Let me cut you off right there, Doctor. I'll tell you what, that I don't even need to guess because these fuckers use that fund for police salaries, right? Voted for this on June 18th. It says, ordinance approving the Corpus Christi Crime Control and Prevention District budget FY 2026 with revenues in the total amount of $9 million and expenditures in the amount of $11 million to fund 78 authorized police sworn personnel and 9 replacement vehicles and equipment to support both as adopted by the Corpus Christi Crime Control and Prevention District Board on June 18th, 2025, and appropriating $11 million in the Crime Control and Prevention District Fund.
The crime rates go up between 3 and 6 when kids get out of school and they don't have things to do. The gym back there is empty. That nonprofit is making a living off of those dues. Kids have to drive on a bus all the way down to Lindell Center to participate in a recreation program. When we were growing up, we walked across the street. In the summer, we got up in the mornings and we walked to the pool in the neighborhood.
Loud and boisterous.
And you interrupted her during her time. So that's actually actionable as far as fining you. You can get fined $500 for that. Nothing can be done to her because it's her time to speak. You cannot reasonably expect people to think that you can stop them when it's their time to speak at a city council meeting, that you allowed them their time to speak, right? It's not reasonable to set any rules that require somebody to act a certain way when it's their time to speak when they're speaking at a city council meeting. And look, this lady's wearing a hat, which is against your rules as well. So you need to be fined $500 and she needs to be kicked out. That's what should happen, according to your rules.
didn't give me a chance to leave.
And that's an illegal search and seizure. A search incident to arrest is only if it's a lawful arrest, and this is not a lawful arrest. You didn't give her a chance to leave, if you even did kick her out, and she had no chance or reason to be kicked out because she didn't break any laws when she was speaking during her time to speak at a public meeting when they said her time to speak, okay?
No, I didn't come in. You know what happened? I walked over here with my car. I left the car, and I got chased by 4 dogs. I walked down 2 miles plus, and I had to walk and ignore the dogs that were following me.
And now the city council is being little crybabies to the news. Like, it is hilarious the way this is so patterned. Like, I've seen this with multiple city councils.
At City Hall, with the City Council hearing hours of public comment on desalination.
In some cases, these conversations have been anything but calm, with tensions running high and even prompting a response from the Corpus Christi police. And that is where we find our Josh Maxwell, who has been following the story all night. He joins us live from City Hall with the very latest. Josh.
Mike Leslie, I can confirm to you now at the 10 o'clock hour that there have been 3 arrests made in connection to the city council meeting today. Now, when I came to you guys earlier at the 5 and 6 o'clock hour, I had reported about how I had seen a woman being cuffed and taken away. Well, as it turns out, I witnessed 2 more of those incidents, just speaking to how important and how drastic this council meeting turned out to be.
Say no.
A common phrase echoed throughout city council chambers Tuesday night as neighbors came ready to talk desalination, and they didn't mince words.
You've got staff that are leaving, and they're not leaving because they don't like their jobs.
Right. They're leaving because of unequal treatment because of stuff like this, right? There's a rule that says you can't wear hats, and then there's somebody wearing a hat, right? That's probably why they're leaving, dude. You know what's even funnier? I think the mayor is guilty of breaking this rule, and I'm not even joking. This is an actual rule that is in their fucking policy, right? And I think the mayor's guilty of this. You can tell by her behavior. You can always tell a glue sniffer when you see one.
Or because they don't like the money they make. They're leaving because they're afraid of the emotional trauma and the political issues that are going on.
Others were even led out of council chambers in handcuffs.
Or it could be that they see this happening and realize that it's unlawful and unconstitutional, and then they see themselves being hauled off like this too, and probably don't want to be a part of that, right?
For breaking decorum. Mayor Paulette Guajardo calling such behavior unacceptable.
We deserve to listen to everyone.
Oh, really, bitch? Then why do you have them arrested? This is coming from the mayor that gets up and leaves during public comment, right? She gets up and just leaves and has somebody else sit in her chair.
Residents of Corpus Christi will be given priority in speaking over non-residents. If you have a petition or relevant information, please present it to the city secretary before speaking. It is important to note that I was your mayor pro tem until yesterday. Mr. Barrera is your current mayor pro tem, and we turn it over to him.
So much for listening to everybody, huh, bitch? Anyhow, she also can't claim that she doesn't know that about people's right to speak, right? Because she herself has defended one of her council members and saying it's her right to speak, just like it is yours.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm just saying that the people that are making these public statements, comments right now, I've never seen this where we're allowing X amount. I mean, I don't know how long you took, Councilman Barrera, but with Sean Flanagan, but it was excessive. I mean, we normally don't go back and forth with
we can in an item like this. We can.
Now, remind you, there is a person that was sitting there waiting there to speak, right? So she's waiting during this time they're having a discussion or argument, whatever you want to call it. A petty little kid back and forth, you know what I mean? High school girl bullshit. But anyways, just for context, Flanagan, the guy she's talking about, has a lawsuit against them. So when he says an item like this, he means somebody that's suing us.
We can, Sylvia, and we have done it in the past. Yes, we have.
There she goes, breaking her own decorum again. You're not allowed to use their first names or talk to them by their first name, but yet the mayor does here and in other instances too, right?
We have, and you know what? I wanted to hear what he had to say. I wanted to hear what Ms. Anderson has to say.
So conversely, then you don't want to hear what other people have to say whenever they ask you questions and you don't answer, or like at the end, whenever they start talking and you get up and walk out and put another mayor in your place, right? Yeah, we know.
And we can. It's absolutely been done
well,
before.
I'd like to call the question. I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go to public. You're going to give your public comment, your 3 minutes. Okay, yeah, she's got that up.
Mayor, just before she starts, I want to characterize what she said about creating havoc. Her friends showed up in clown faces today. I mean...
Whoa, what's with the disrespectfully boisterous, loud laugh that we just heard, right? Isn't that so disrespectful and boisterous and loud? These motherfuckers should each be fined $500 and taken to court on a subpoena and been charged with contempt of counsel. You know what I mean? I mean, they do it to us, right? But they can't do it to us because there's a policy, right, that doesn't apply to us, right? But the policy does apply to them. And they still continue to do this right in front of our faces.
For her to say something like that is just absolutely rude.
You know what? But, Councilman, she has a right to say what
I get it.
And there's your confession. She can't play stupid now whenever they ask her about the First Amendment, and she can't say what she, act dumb, right? She just said she has the right to say it just like you do, right? She understands the First Amendment, right? She's just a dumb lying bitch, that's all.
Absolutely rude.
You know what? But, Councilman, she has a right to say what
I get it, but it doesn't mean she can go unchallenged.
Okay.
Because you told me they were your friends.
Okay, y'all, please stop.
That back and forth right there is the worst that I've ever heard from anybody that's ever been in any of these council meetings, and I've watched them all. Dude, they are worse than us, dude. Their behavior is criminal. I mean, according to their laws. According to their laws.
You asked me. Oh my God. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna, and the question has been called. So, no, oh my God. Okay, we're gonna move on. Your public, this is your 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Melinda De Los Santos, 611 Gulf Shore.
Yeah, that's right. She had to sit there the whole time while they were bickering and stuff. That's what you call interrupting a meeting, right? For that little back and forth or whatever, because it was supposed to be that woman's time to speak, right? She would have been done already.
But not through profanity and not through disrespect. No one teaches that.
Shut the fuck up. All right, here are some of the speakers. Oh, what was that? That's a policy violation. You can't have any signs or anything like that. Policy violation. All right, let's get to today's speakers.
We haven't even talked about how this manic pursuit of water is actually going to impact our rate fees. I also wanted to say that pursuing desalination is not moving forward, it's actually backward because you're still catering to heavy industry. That industrial growth plan from Sanpat County was troubling. It said that they were looking at 127 square miles for heavy industrial growth. I don't think people actually want that. I think that would actually kill our region, and I think the expansion that has happened actually demonstrates that it is negative for our community because our population has not grown. There were young people that had come earlier when they were hopeful, talking about a sustainability plan, where if you had a real effort in sustainability, you would have, for every $1 you invested, you could have a $6 return on that investment, and we're not doing that. In fact, we had council members that actually fought that. I also want to say that the Corpus Christi Regional Economic Development Corporation is probably one of our problems. I went back and looked at their 990 form. They had $650,000 worth of dues in 2023, and they had $1.2 million of government contributions to their nonprofit. And because they're a nonprofit, we don't get to see what they're actually doing. And really, when you look at them, they just sound like a lobbying group. I also want to say that if you look at our council members' campaign donations, you will actually see that a lot of the investors that are in their directory, they're actually directly connected, and you can see them in their campaign donations. So we really need to center the people who actually live in Corpus, who live within the boundaries that you're supposed to serve, because those industries paid a lot to not be members, and so I don't think we should be catering to them. Thank you.
And now my personal favorite.
Rachel Caballero, D1.
Rachel Caballero?
Rachel Caballero, D1. Wow, it's a shame that we have scared our community so much that they're afraid to drink water and they pass out at their job. That's really, really horrible. I want to say something about the comment that Councilwoman Vaughn made earlier about the national hit pieces that our community has been receiving. It is disgusting, the behavior of some of these council members that are reaching out to national news outlets to disparage our community. You guys are gross. We used to have a saying for a past mayor, no means no Nelda, and now we're gonna have to change that to no means no on the Inner Harbor desal. Many of you are costing yourselves your reelection, so please continue with your distorted behavior. The sheet that you were just handed right now is actually a fact. That was the vote for the Inner Harbor desalination plant. It was 6-3. The community spoke against it 7-1. It's almost like, I don't know, the same thing, the same kind of lack of support there was for Proposition A back in 2023. And here we have the same people advocating for the same ridiculous projects that were advocating for Prop A in 2023. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And when you've had certain individuals on the campaign trail saying that they have a direct line to Governor Abbott, it doesn't surprise me that he's trying to stick his nose into Corpus Christi business. We can handle business on our own. We don't need any assistance from the governor. We also don't need for the Friends of Brook Pop, who was part of the Texas Water Development Board and has now been promoted to the chair of TCEQ, to continue on with their nefarious behavior and trying to help the minority council members here. A lot of the community members are in support of the Nueces River Water Authority project at Harbor Island. As long as the intake and the discharge is taken out to the Gulf far enough, we're going to support that. We're going to support our council people that support that, because we are rational, and we understand that you guys need to sell water to industry, because we also know that none of these projects that were discussed earlier are going to take the community out of drought restrictions. So where have all of y'all been trying to find a way to get the community out of drought restrictions? Why haven't any of you been able to convince industry to come to the table with cash and participate?
Oh, that breaking decorum. You can't ask questions. That's inappropriate, is what it says. Questions are inappropriate. But, I mean, the Texas Open Meetings Act says they're essential. So, I mean, I guess, whatever. Carry on, Rachel.
In providing water. Come on, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Caballero. Jason Hale.
And what the hell? Just kidding. But now for the main event, there is going to be another person named Jason, and it's not Jason Hale, and it's not me. It's Jason Followell. You know him from hits like "You're a Piece of Shit, Mayor" and "Don't Fucking Touch Me." You know what I mean? Damn, we're going to have to save you're going to have to listen to this guy first, because what do you know? He asks a question that's inappropriate, and they answer it. Oh, my God. It's probably the best question I've ever heard, especially on this subject. He says, why is industry giving drinking water to waste and the residents giving wastewater to drink? That is an epic question, dude. Oh, my gosh.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. My name is Jose Perez Jr. from District 3. Water conservation should have been implemented decades ago by enforcing industrial reuse of water through means of closed-loop filtration system, saving millions of gallons of water per day. Instead, now here we are, up to our ankles in a water crisis. We do not want to drink treated sewage water. Wastewater is defined as sewage. Hospitals, veterinary clinics, funeral homes, and slaughterhouses also use the sewer systems, where strong chemicals and all sorts of contaminants go down the drain. Funeral homes discharge embalming fluids containing formaldehyde, methanol, phenol, and bodily fluids which are only partially removed during wastewater treatment. Veterinary clinics flush things like antibiotics, steroids, anesthetics, hormones, dewormers, animal waste, disinfectants, and chemotherapy drugs. These can increase the risk of breast and prostate cancers. These substances can also remain through treatment processes, leading to toxic discharges and cause antibiotic-resistant bacteria in our water. Local and state regulations provide general oversight, but most facilities' wastewater is not individually monitored. Currently, we are without a chief of operations officer over the water department. Corpus Christi has a history of water safety issues, including over a dozen cancer-causing chemicals plus multiple E. coli detections. Our aging pipes, infrastructure, and the old electrical system make contamination more likely. Even advanced treatment cannot fully remove pharmaceutical residues, hepatitis viruses, or other medical contaminants. Residents are rightfully alarmed at the idea of consuming what many call toilet water. Even when wastewater is highly treated, the chlorination process can produce chemical byproducts such as trihalomethanes and haloacidic acids, both of which are linked to bladder and colorectal cancer according to EPA and World Health Organization data. That is not a risk residents should ever have to accept in their drinking water. The city's plan to partner with the Gulf Coast Authority raises serious red flags. Both the GCA and the city have faced environmental violations. The city has been sued, and the GCA has also faced enforcement actions. Keep in mind, the GCA has never turned wastewater into drinking water before. This is experimental. Without a chief of operations officer, who will oversee these pilot projects for water safety? These are not minor issues. They show a pattern of lapses that put public health at risk. The city has, in the past, given our drinking water to industries for use, and are only now considering giving recycled water to industries. Human health and safety must come first. Why should industries be given drinking water to waste and residents given wastewater to drink? We urge this council to reconsider this pilot project for the sake of our drinking water. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. It's reserved for the end now.
Statement of fact.
Yeah, it's reserved for the end.
Want to wait for that?
I'm just not. Okay. Let me see if I did this right. All right. There you go.
Okay, I want to address this, and I'll let Mr. Zanoni also say this, is that we have kind of given direction for us to use wastewater reuse for industrial purposes, not for drinking, indirect or direct.
That's correct, Councilman.
And so, Peter, if you can expound on that.
Yeah, sure. So at one point, we were looking at numerous options for wastewater to include direct potable use, indirect potable use, putting it in the Nueces River, treating it with our other water. But at this point, we're moving forward with direct industrial use, Mr. Perez, so we won't be, there's no, what you described at the podium here a few moments ago won't be taking place in our city. Councilman Hernandez. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Perez.
More, and for the fishing guides. So like Rachel said, we're for it as long as it's shipped out and we can be safe. Our water bills are already so costly. I keep thinking I may have to get another job at Bass Pro Shop. I keep putting my application in, but they keep telling me that they've decided not to come here. Or I don't know what happened to so many false campaign promises, but then I put it in at Costco and man, they said they're not coming either. So I don't know what's happening, but I hear some of the people get up and speak, and everyone knows I have a good friendship with one council member here, and I'm quickly forming another one with another council member, but neither one of them pay me a dime. I listen to them and I talk to them because I care about this city. It's not to get a hit piece done on another one of y'all, and I want this city to prosper, no matter who the mayor is. And I think one of the things that I like the most right now, we've got Democrats and Republicans working very strongly together on the desaling. You know what that spells? When when Democrats and Republicans work together, it spells trouble for the rest of y'all, because we're piping mad right now. We've got water bills we can't pay. We wonder where water's coming from when this problem started, not with this council, with the council back. So stop trying to attack each other and work together. It's embarrassing to all of you, and if you're reaching out to other people to write something on, be very careful, like I said, because somebody could go Harper Valley PTA on each and every one of y'all. So let's all try and work together for the greater good. Thank you.
Surprising they didn't freak out and call that a threat, because they've publicly called out threats for way less. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you that in a little bit. But first, the alien guy. This guy's awesome. He says the same thing every time, but now this time they stop him. Like, their inconsistency is unmatched.
Apologize. This topic is something that's going to become relevant in 2026. And just read this, what I've got here. I was born in Corpus Christi, graduated from Ray High School 71. In 1976, I attended my first city council meeting. Mayor Jason Luby was presiding. I subsequently attended 20 to 30 city council meetings in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I came to these chambers to get an education in city government. I consider myself an analytical and reanalytical type of guy who can analyze and reanalyze every topic, the cause and effect of each situation. 45 years ago, I took Psychology 101 at Del Mar College in the 70s. I studied Sigmund Freud, Pavlov, Skinner, the rest of the psychoanalysts. I'm not crazy. I am not delusional. I'm here to talk about terrestrials, extraterrestrials.
Mayor, objection. That's not a matter related to city business and not the matter that this commentator signed up for public comment on.
What did she call him? A common hitter? He's a speaker, and he signed up to speak, you stupid bitch. And he just said that he went to Ray High School. Ray High School is in Corpus. It's city-related, you dumb bitch. And if aliens come, they're coming here, you stupid bitch. Don't you want the aliens to like us? He's our only link to the aliens.
Mr. Langingham, if you can just stick to your topic here of DCL.
And you can't object during somebody's fucking time to speak. You cut that time. Objecting during somebody's time to speak is an interruption. You cannot do that. You can't give somebody time to speak and then object to what they say. You stupid bitch.
Okay. If I want to talk about extraterrestrials, I have to specifically put that.
Well, it has to be city related. Any comments must be city related.
Look, lady, if you don't understand the meaning of the English words that you speak, don't speak English, right? Speak Spanish, because you just said city related. He is a resident. Anything he says is city related. He is a resident of Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi residents, anything that comes out of their mouth is city related because they live in the city, okay?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, can y'all please keep it down so Mr. Langingham can continue? Go ahead, sir.
My journey began in October, November of last year, 2024. I noticed the silver orbs flying over New Jersey. Further investigation turned up more interesting facts.
Mayor, objection. Again, the commentator signed up for a specific...
Why is she calling him a commentator? He's a speaker and a member of the public. Why is she calling him a commentator? She doesn't even know what this... She is categorizing this dude under something that he's not. She doesn't even know what she's saying. How are you letting this woman object to somebody during their comment time and calling him... She might as well call him an alien. You know what I mean? She's crazier than he is at this point. Aliens could potentially be real, but objecting during somebody's time to talk and interrupting them is against their rules, and calling somebody something that they're not is disrespectful, right? She is crazier than him at this point. Look, here's one point that I cannot stress enough, right? Okay, the whole interrupting the meeting thing is whenever your so-called business, which is fake because the city doesn't have business, right? The city doesn't do business. They're fucking mafia members that steal our money from us, dude, and buy stuff they want, right? That's being a gangster, being a thug. But on top of that, the city doesn't have business. But if their business was legitimate, it's over with, right? You've already voted on everything. All you're doing now is just listening to the commentators speak, right? So the business is over with. So you can't claim it's an interruption for him to talk about aliens. The only interruption during this public comment has been this bitch that keeps objecting.
City comment related to desalination. I ask that the commentator be,
I'll sign up next week for extraterrestrial. How's that? Because it's an important, between now and 2026, there will be open contact.
Mayor.
I've been studying this for a year. I'm not delusional.
No, we're not saying you are, Mr. Langingham. What we're saying is you signed up
Okay.
for desal, so
Okay.
that's what the expectation is, and any comment,
Okay.
public comment must be related to the city.
and Mayor, I remind yourself, the council, and all public here today that we do have city council policies that have been approved by this governing body. And one of those city council policies, item K, specifically states that public comments must be presented related to city matters.
Right.
When open contact happens, it's going to be very city appropriate, ma'am.
Okay, just quick recap, right? A guy who lives in Corpus Christi, graduated from Ray High School in Corpus Christi in 1971, is at a Corpus Christi city meeting, open city meeting, speaking, signed up to speak at Corpus Christi's open city meeting, is there at the Corpus Christi open city meeting talking about aliens that might end up in Corpus Christi and that he's been studying them in Corpus Christi for the last year, and she is stopping him because he is not speaking about matters related to Corpus Christi. That's weird. And insane, and they're crazy, and they're dumb bitches.
I know you haven't studied it, but I have.
Mr. Langingham, you want to move on? You want to talk
Yes.
about desal, or you're good? Or you're okay?
No, you don't want to hear my comments on these,
This guy, there's not a crazy bone in this guy's body. This guy is completely sane, dude. I don't know. I think he might even be gaslighting them right now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your hard work.
Yeah, he's gaslighting him for sure.
Thank you, sir. Jerry Sinclair, oh, that's WebEx.
Mayor, I understand.
Must be presented related to city matters.
Right.
When open contact happens, it's going to be very city appropriate, ma'am. I know you haven't studied it, but I have.
Mr. Langingham, you want to move on? You want to talk
Yes.
about desal, or you're good? Or you're okay?
No, you don't want to hear my comments on
Okay.
these, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, sir. Jerry Sinclair, oh, that's WebEx.
Mayor, I understand we don't have anyone on WebEx.
Really? I wonder why. Probably because whenever they tried to sign up, they saw this. Because I was going to sign up and just say, fuck, shit, tits, bitch, balls, and and that's what I was going to do, but I couldn't because public comment sign-in is closed. That's weird, bitches.
Okay. But we do have one individual who is not a resident who signed up to speak in person.
Not your
Good afternoon, Jay. Address, none of your business. Thank you. Okay, so I came to talk about freedom of speech, but your decorum really threw me off. So your decorum violates your First Amendment rights. Any person out here can singly target every one of y'all and personally confront y'all however they want. They're just not allowed to threaten you, and they're not allowed to defame you. You're a liar. With that said, Government Code Section 551.007. Public testimony is very clear and unambiguous. A government body shall allow each member of the public who desires to address the body regarding an item on the agenda for open meeting to address the body regarding the item. You'll notice the law does not say each geographic resident under the government body's authority. If you stop me at 1 minute, you violate my 14th Amendment rights. I hope you do not stop me. Texas law places restrictions on government bodies' ability to limit public comments to citizens of the respective geographic area of the government body. Additionally, government bodies cannot discriminate between citizens and non-citizen members when allowing public comments. Allowing more time for a resident to speak other than me violates my 14th Amendment rights.
Mr.
I'm
Jay.
glad we're getting an education. Yes, ma'am.
Well, Mr. Jay, the timer just went off.
I have 3 minutes. Would you not like to give me my 3 minutes?
I think you, Rebecca, was it 1 minute?
No, ma'am.
You're from Hugh.
My 14th Amendment right.
If you would like to criminally trespass me, I'll take it right now.
Yeah.
If not, let me
Well,
finish.
Mr. J, because you don't live in Corpus Christi, according
That
to,
violates my 14th Amendment right.
can you advise us, please?
Yes, again, there are city council policies that are in place, and if it is a non-resident speaking in public forum, the time limit is 1 minute.
I don't care about your public rules. I am for the Constitution, so if you'd like to arrest me or criminally trespass me, go for it. If not, treat me like every other citizen here. I already saw your cops arrest a doctor for saying what you wanted to say. Complete BS. Now, may I finish my time? Or am I being criminally trespassed and violating my 14th Amendment right?
No, Mr. J, we have the rules of decorum, and so it's a minute. I know, sir. I know, but pardon me? Yeah, sir, yeah, we're done. Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Public comments to citizens of the respective geographic area of the government body. Additionally, government bodies cannot discriminate between citizens and non-citizen members when allowing public comments. Allowing more time for a resident to speak other than me violates my 14th Amendment rights. A guy we're getting an education. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. J, the timer just went off.
I have 3 minutes. Would you not like to give me my 3 minutes?
I think you.
It doesn't matter what geographic location you're from. Educated. No, ma'am. That is violating my 14th Amendment right. If you would like to criminally trespass me, I'll take it right now. If not, let me finish my
Mr.
time.
J, because you don't live in Corpus Christi?
Again, that violates my 14th Amendment right.
Can you advise
Go
us,
ahead,
please?
lady.
Yes, again, there are city council policies that are in place, and if it is a non-resident speaking in public forum, the time limit is 1 minute.
I don't care about your public rules. I am for the Constitution, so if you'd like to arrest me or criminally trespass me, go for it. If not, treat me like every other citizen here. I already saw your cops arrest a doctor for saying what you wanted to say. Complete BS. Now, may I finish my time? Or am I being criminally trespassed and violating my 14th Amendment right?
No, Mr. J, we have the rules of decorum.
I don't care about your rules, I care about the Constitution that you took an oath to.
I know, but pardon me? Yeah, sir, yeah, we're done. Okay, this meeting is
I'm
adjourned.
not allowed to finish my talk. 14th Amendment right violation, I'll sue the city. I'll see you, Miles, in court. Excuse me. Don't stand behind me like that. Bro, that's scary, dude. I thought you were like 6'9", turned around, you were 5'2".
Okay, so 2 things I figured out. Number 1, I figured out why the lawyers switch out like that. It's so the actual lawyer, the one that's super corrupt, doesn't get any lawsuits against him because it's going to be that girl. But Miles is the one that is the big piece of shit and corrupt, right? And also, it's just funny to see the cop like try to intimidate somebody who can't be intimidated. And if they want to adjourn the meeting early, don't they have to have a motion and a second and then a vote? She just ended the meeting. I think that makes it invalid. I don't think anything they did at that meeting can be validated. But I could be wrong on that. I'm not going to go back and read the fuck it. I've been reading all day. But anyways, good work, everybody. And by good work, everybody, I mean the council. And by everybody, I mean the council. And by good work, I mean horrible, disgusting work. You guys are stupid, retarded, dumb, gross, stinky, smelly, and just a pain to look at. Your ugliness hurts my eyeballs.